Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Muhammad Jabril here. This is Ramadan, day 5. I'm out here at the park shooting this video. Why did I choose a park to do this video? Well, while doing this, I'm recalling a bunch of different things and stories, and just Ramadan is a time of reflection for me. And I thank Allah for being Muslim, and I'm forever eternally grateful for becoming a Muslim and being able to go against the norm and to accept something that was not popular in society, because I felt like I wanted to get closer to my Lord, and I actually went on a search for Islam and I found Islam. So this is something that I own and no one can take it away from me. I didn't have anybody giving me dawah. I didn't have anybody trying to guide me to Islam. It was all a personal search within my soul, my own soul search, and looking for the truth and trying to find answers to the questions that were in my own heart. And so one of the very instrumental parts that I remember and I recall was me and a friend of mine sitting in the park at night, no one around, just kind of like when you're very young, you don't have anything to do, so you can stay up late for no reason at all. Well, we used to stay up late, and we used to go to the park, and we used to just sit and just talk and reminisce on childhood. And doing that in the park, reminiscing at night, reminded me of certain aspects of my childhood and the journey from where I was and how did I get here? Like that moment, how did I get there? And so I began to reflect on my past, and it's like every single step that I took was leading me to where I was at that moment. And so from then I began to be conscious of the steps that I was taking therefore, from thereforth. And so just reflecting on things and wondering where I came from and wondering what is the purpose of all this, just wondering all these things led me to looking at the religion that I was in at that time, Christianity. And so after an in-depth study of Christianity, I wasn't finding the answers that were really perplexing my soul. And so I turned to other religions. I started to ask myself, if there's a God and he wants to give human being guidance, then maybe that's the reason for religion. So then I started asking myself the question, if there are so many religions, are all of them false? Is religion just something you find within yourself? Or is there one religion that contains the truth of all religions? And so the end result, I found Islam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And I always have to go back to this and reflect on this, that Islam is an amalgamation of all traditions that ever believed in one God, whether we know about them or they're mentioned or not. Islam is an amalgamation of that eternal truth, and that is something I think Muslims get away from, that universality. We use the term Islam as a universal religion, but we don't really think about what that means, because as we increase in knowledge and as we increase in understanding, then things are supposed to have more relation. We see the more relationship between things, and not the opposite, where we start to separate ourselves from everything that's out there. Because we're all one. Allah is one. His creation is one. Whether a person is a Muslim or non-Muslim, it doesn't matter. We are all one. Allah created them just like he created us. And so if we as Muslims submit ourselves, and that's what Islam is, it's a struggle to submit oneself completely and totally, mind, body, soul, spirit, emotion, everything. Submit that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in return he gives us peace and happiness and joy and Jannah and all of the above. So if we are, as Muslims, are struggling to submit ourselves and are constantly focused on ourselves, then people will see us submitting, and that nature inside of them will be drawn to us. So how much of that have we gotten away from? How much have we gotten away from focusing on submitting ourselves to Allah instead of finding the fault in everything around us and finding the fault even in other Muslims? This is something I think that perplexes the Muslim community. That the sense of entitlement, what that we deserve that. We have a chance. Allah has given us this gift, whether you were born Muslim or you became Muslim. He gave us this gift of Islam, and we have to continually try to debase ourselves. And when I say debase ourselves, I don't mean to put yourself down. I mean to use your talents, gifts, and skills, and everything that Allah has given you in order to make your life of ibadah. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same gifts to offer, but we all have something to offer. And if we can live up to our own potential, to the highest of the height of what Allah put within us, then we will make our world better. We'll make our family lives better. We'll make our neighbors' lives better. The people in our cities' lives better. And then think if all of the billion Muslims were struggling to submit themselves and to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He make us one, then that would draw so many people into Islam, and not just come into Islam so you can say assalamu alaikum to them, but people who are producing a actual change in the society that we live in. Because Allah says it is written that we have to work on ourselves, and then Allah will come to aid us. So this is just my little spiel for today, Ramadan reflections. Ramadan Mubarak, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.